Good afternoon, everyone. Gabe Velazquez here with you, transparenttrading-solutions.com on a Friday, 12th of this January. And that was okay. All right. So let's get started. Welcome back, everybody. So we've got a holiday, MLK, no stock, no equities on Monday, but we do have a futures markets on a Sunday. So it'll be interesting, the thin markets. Overall, very, very quiet trading today. After all the CPI, PPI ultimately did nothing, just went on a roller coaster ride. So let's go ahead and get right to the charts. A couple of notables. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Also want to remind everybody that I do have a class coming up here. We did have JPM earnings. And this is a great example where, JPM, a lot of the stocks really are not moving a whole lot. We have inflated options premiums. In fact, they're not even, we attempted to look at JPM premiums, but even in this environment, it looks like those are kind of low. So starting next week, we've got a whole slew. We got TSM, we've got a whole slew of earnings, and the thinner stocks, the more highly volatile stocks are the ones that have the better opportunities in earnings. So I do have 3 strategies that I'm going to cover. That's going to be on Tuesday. So it is a free class. So if you want to join me for that, that's going to be Tuesday at 11 Pacific. Okay. Be about an hour long. So if you want to join me for that, register on the bottom. There's a link below, or you can go to the website as well. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So, starting with the, you can see the S&P just kind of churning here right up against, the prior highs. It just cannot get going. I still believe that at some point it's almost like a foregone conclusion that they are going to try to hit another new high, especially on the S&P cash, which I've mentioned in other videos. That comes in roughly at, just real quick here, the S&P cash, which is different. The futures already hit a new high. The S&P cash is about 40 points away from a new high. We came close again this morning, but didn't quite hit it. That comes in at around 48.21. You can see this is the SPX, that's the cash. So we're right within striking distance. At some point, it's almost like a foregone conclusion that we will probably hit that possibly next week. We'll see what happens. There's really retail sales and whatever. All of the big numbers are out until the next Fed meeting in a couple of weeks. So at the end of the month. But very interesting dynamic. Under the surface, all kind of stuff going on. So overall today, just very, very choppy on the future side. Not a lot really, not a lot to really talk about, honestly. I mean, it's just been just a grind and a chop and in the last couple of days. In fact, we came right down to that. And then since that, we've been kind of swinging back and forth right up against the highs here. But zooming in a little bit, you can see even today has just been a mess chop in here. Similar with all the index, so not anything new here on the NASDAQ. Under the surface, lots going on. Tesla getting hit, probably approaching $200 a share. Apple underperforming, still trying to rally above 185. NVIDIA at a new high, which we're tracking very carefully. AMD at 150. So there's a bunch of stuff under the surface. Clear JPM hovering at a new high, but again, lots of volatility, ending up almost flat on the day. So that's where the opportunities are. Here you've got the Russell clearly in a range 2,000 to about 1940. Also, just this, we'll see if it breaks down and comes down to 1900. Rates, nothing there also this week. Similarly, just if you look at the interest rate market, back and forth, they attempted a rally last Friday with the non-farm payrolls, but generally speaking, just very, very range bound. Similar with the dollar. This is really interesting. I mean, you talk about a range. There you have it. What's going to break us out of this? Probably geopolitics. You know, we've got stuff in the Middle East heating up with the Red Sea and the attacks continuing. And then we actually had military action in Yemen. So that is another wild card that's still looming here. You know, we're trying to get long gold. Gold, again, very volatile. You can see had a spike this morning. We've basically have a big, massive range in gold here, about 220, 265. Very, very volatile. So we'll see if this, you know, geopolitics may drive gold higher. Also dollar, but and silver, interestingly, just chopping around as well. So all around, just a lot of kind of lackluster trading. Even oil initially, because of the news that came out, the attacks, attempted a rally and went nowhere. You know, this failed, didn't even get out to break out here. So you can see we didn't even break outside of this current range here above 76 a barrel. So more or less still in a range. Nothing going on here. Nat gas, very volatile, you know, back and forth. Looks like it's headed higher again, whether it goes up to this gap and then fails again. You know, this big, you know, we're having 30, 40 point swings every single day on this thing. And you know, 350 is the next level, whether, you know, it's the issue is you just, you know, you cannot chase this. If you get the pullback, you're great. This actually missed by a couple of pennies and then rallied again. Are we actually going to get like a true follow through move that, you know, just kind of looks, you know, like it follows through? So this is very typical, by the way, of nat gas. You know, it has these bursts, big pullbacks here, did the same thing. So no change. I mean, if you can catch one of these moves, obviously 30, 40 cents is not a bad deal, but you cannot stick with this, because if you, for instance, if you went long somewhere here and didn't cover, didn't sell it, you obviously gave most of your profits back. So it's been a very volatile situation. We'll see if we get another gap over the weekend. There we had a grain report that was interesting. Now this is a market that's heating up here. Soybeans came down and touched the $12 a bushel level, try to rally 26 cents. We'll see if that actually has some follow through, similar with wheat as well, trying to hang on to 6 bushel. Nothing. Corn actually just kept going lower as well. So, you know, some volatility in the grain markets, but not a big deal. So overall, just a, you know, very, very choppy kind of environment right now. VIX still can't break 12. Sentiment still high. But again, under the surface, just to give you a sampling here, meaning if you're focused on some stocks here, there's a bunch of stuff going on. There's Tesla, right? There's, you know, all the banks are kind of not doing a whole lot, but, you know, like NVIDIA, all-time highs. So you, again, you know, that's kind of where we're focused here at TTS on the individual stocks. And if you want to learn again how to participate in some of this with options, but by the way, just because NVIDIA is a $500 stock does not mean you cannot participate. Especially, you want to be participating in this. This thing swung between last week's low on the first of the year and this week's high. You're talking almost about 70 points. That's where the action is. That's where you want to be active. Also, AMD swinging, you know, 15 points a week from 135 to, you know, went from 150 down to 135, back to 150, that type of thing. So, and you know, And this is where the action is. So if you want to learn about this, again, join the class and we'll talk about some of this stuff. Okay. All right, you guys have a great weekend. Again, holiday Monday, no equities, futures open, stock market reopens on Tuesday. So we'll see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend. Again, sign up for the newsletter, give me a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Have a great weekend. If you're going to take the 3 days off, that's great. Okay, I'll see you guys. Have a wonderful weekend.